Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar today, which is going to be on the advancement of technology in Nigeria and the integration of BIM with AI. There'll be three presenters today: myself, Engineer Peter Fisher, I'm the Managing Director of CDSS, Nigeria Limited, Autodesk and Bentley resellers in Nigeria for 37 years. Mr. Dimitrios Ripanas of ZIGURAT Institute of Technology, who is, I think you're in our region, correct? You are the business development manager in this region.
I'm the corporate manager, of ZIGURAT.
Corporate manager, yes. We must get this right. And Mr. Tawa Yorinde, who is the technical resource manager of CDSS. I am going to start off by telling you a little bit about CDSS and the products and services that we offer, and then it will be Dimitrios who will take us through the keynote, and then we're going to have some insight from alumni of the ZIGURAT Institute, and then we're going to talk about the implementation path for this and have a Q&A. And hopefully we intend to do that. Not too long. We hope it won't take too long, but we hope that it'll be engaging and interesting for all. All right, so please let me know you can see my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, I presume that's the case. Okay, let's go. Okay, I started CDSS in 1989. I'm actually a current registered civil structural engineer. And my first contact with CAD came in '84 in the US. CDSS was incorporated in '89, and I believe we were the first CAD-specific company in Nigeria. We introduced AutoCAD into Nigeria in '91, and primarily have focused, most of that has been in the building industry and oil and gas, providing services for the engineering drawing office in all those areas, in those two main sectors. First installation was in Chevron in Lekki, and since then we've basically set up most of the engineering drawing office. A lot of them are still going. That were Macon, Kohasa, Dover Engineering, Nigeria LNG, Netco. In fact, Netco was the first indigenous engineering drawing office in Nigeria. We set that up, I think, in '92. We have a cross-section of products from Autodesk, from Bentley, and other vendors as well. By the way, this is recorded, so you'll be able to go into all this in a bit more detail later. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but if you have a look through, we've got Autodesk, we've got AEC collection. So things like AutoCAD, Revit, Civil 3D, STAAD, SACS, AutoPipe, on-bottom stability, off-pipe Caesar 2, PV Elite, PipeSim, ISIS, all building industry and oil and gas applications. That's mainly where we are footprint is. But in addition, we also provide, because we're looking at the whole engineering drawing office, we're looking at the conversion from paper to digital. So we brought in large format scanning for documents from A2 to A0 size. We offer the scanners and the scanning solutions. Some people actually want to not just scan documents, they actually want them to convert them to AutoCAD. So you have something like GTX RasterCAD or ImageCAD, which are AutoCAD and Windows-based versions of the same thing. And then you have Raster Design, which will let you do topical matches by just tracing contours. This is basically a breakdown of some of the companies that we've worked with over the years. I mean, and they cut across architecture, building industry, building services, oil and gas, engineering. We even got the police, railway corporation, Ogun State. So we've got across quite a wide spectrum over the years. In 37 years, well, you should have done quite a bit, but we have. And these are some of our milestones. We appointed Autodesk resellers in 89, GTX in 94, Context distributors in 95, Master Series is a structural software suite in 96, Rebus, which is now some will know as Autoplant, that was also in 96. And then we became Bentley System Partners in 05 because Bentley bought Rebus. And we were an ATC, we're not any longer. And we launched our website in 2006. And Avision is a A3, A4 scanning hardware company. And there's more, but those are some of the earlier ones. And these are some of the current partners that we represent. For some reason, I left out the ZIGURAT logo, but don't hold that against Demetrius. Context, Autodesk Master Series, ANSYS, Bentley, Sequence, which is a Bentley company, and Hexagon. We've been, like I said, we've been a Bentley reseller now for 37 years. We got this in 2015. That's a 25-year award. And also we've like I said, we've focused on inception on delivering solutions for the engineering drawing office, and we are recognized as one of the leading lights on the continent. In fact, last year in sales, CDSS were the #1 Bentley systems partner on the continent. And we can talk to you about CAD, about BIM, about TIM collaboration, which are the two things we are going to be talking a bit more about today. Engineering, design, water distribution, rail plant design, etc. So that tells you a little bit about CDSS. Then I'll go into a little bit more detail now about the products and services that we offer. So let me just okay. Here we go. Products and services. As we said, Autodesk, we've got AutoCAD, you've got AEC Collection, which includes Revit and Civil 3D, and Design and Manufacturing Suite as well. Innoviz is an Autodesk company, and they're basically water solutions, InfoWorks, InfoWater. Bentley and Sequent are all their Bentley companies, MicroStation, AutoPipe, Civil Works Seat, etc. GTX, as we said, for raster editing. Context for flatbed and sheet fed scanners, A2 to A0 plus size, anything from 24 up to 60 inches wide can be scanned. Avision for A3, A4 document scanner, and JTAC for rugged computers. Now we're going to oil and gas on-bottom stability for the design of subsea pipeline. ANSYS, again, simulation analysis. Off-pipe, again, for installation operation of pipelines. And then you've got your stalwarts, your standards, which are PV Elite, CESA 2, Smart P&ID, etc. On a slight aside, we also offer something by a company called VC, which is a telehealth platform, which is why this applies to oil and gas, because it offers this service to the guys offshore. So if the guys are on a platform, they can still have access to medical assistance and help through the VC platform. Apparently, it's also used by the astronauts, by NASA, with their astronauts in space as well. Then there's another standard of the oil and gas industry is Abacus. We can offer that. Master Series is a structural suite, and then we've got other things from DNV, GL, Bar, Stableline, Sage, etc. Our support, 3 levels: basic, telephone, remote, on-site, Lagos and on-site Nigeria. We have email, telephone, remote assessment, analysis, and resolutions with AnyDesk, or what's the other one? QS. Anyway, using AnyDesk primarily. And then on-site when required, we offer training by quite a few of the various applications by the vendors that we support. And that's me done. So at this point, I will hand over to Dimitrios, who will now take over. And I stop. I think I've stopped sharing. Can you?
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
All right then. So thank you very much, Peter. I mean, very warm welcome. So today, what we're going to talk about, bridging the technology gap in Nigeria AC industry. So we're going to talk about BIM, we're going to talk about AI, we're going to talk about ZIGURAT as a training institute, and I will give you also some statistics regarding the developments of the AC industry in general in the African continent. So let's go because I have a lot of slides. First of all, introductions, like who am I? I'm an urban planning engineer by profession, by discipline. I was specialized in urban generation, smart city, BIM, GIS, project management, and currently I'm working here in ZIGURAT. I have been working here for the past 8 years, leading the corporate team, and we focus basically on driving global business and achieving educational innovation. Now, here I have a short video. You can hear the sound, right? All right then. So this was like a short video to see some things, some basic information about our organization. So what is ZIGURAT? ZIGURAT is a global network of engineers and architects. We're a professional institute, training professional institute based here in Barcelona. And we already have around 26 years of history. We started our journey back in the 2000s. And slowly we opened to the different markets in Latin America, in Brazil, and then later in 2016 we opened to the global market, provided training in English. So the biggest highlight until now of our course was in 2018, where we actually completed our collaboration with University of Barcelona, which is currently among the 100 best universities in the world. And the last couple of years, we have been fighting with the challenges in the industry. We have been trying to help professionals actually be equipped with the latest know-how on how they can deal with these technological challenges and how these are being applied in the industry. So ZIGURAT is not alone. We have more than 100 partnerships around the globe, and we always choose to work with the best. And that's why we work also with Mr. Peter in Nigeria and CDSS, all the team of the CDSS. Our collaboration has been very good until now. and we really hope that we have a long future together. As you have seen, Mr. Peter is one of the very experienced professionals in the field. He has been in the industry since the CAD began until now. So, Peter, I think that you have experienced more or less all the changes in the industry that have occurred until now.
I have what
Exactly,
I will say is that when I started in CAD, there was no Windows and there was no mouse.
exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
so that should be enough. There was no Windows operating system and there was no mouse when we started with CAD.
So how do we bridge this gap coming from there, from that point to today, which I put this picture, I think it pretty much describes the situation that we can see in the AC industry nowadays. I want you all to take a very, very, very good look on this because this is not imagination. This is not AI. This is not like a fiction story that we can say. This is actually reality. This is what is happening now. And it's happening now not only in the offices where the designers are working with the latest BIM softwares like Revit, like Design Builder from Bentley. All companies are actually producing exceptional software. But these technological changes are also happening outside the office, in the field, in the construction side. But let's take things from the beginning. So before we even start to talk about BIM, we have to talk about information management. So how life was before BIM, before CAD, before all of this. I don't know you, but uh, I had the opportunity to actually see this in action because my father was also a civil engineer. So when I was very, very little back in the 90s, I kind of had a glimpse of how the engineers started working before CAD even started being used in the past. So this is pretty much what describes life before even CAD. And there were a lot of problems back then. I mean, in terms of productions, in terms of efficiency, in terms of how easy it is to storage, manage, reuse, and update information, it is very challenging. So, what were the challenges back then in the industry? 100% paper-based information, very easy to be lost or damaged, very slow production, and very difficult to rely on this so you can do any changes. It's paper. I mean, we all know how this is. And then we had the 2D, the CAD technologies that came in the 90s. As Mr. Fisher described, we had the mouse, we had the Windows, we had the CAD system. Everyone started everyone started working digitally. Then we had the appearance of the 3D modeling. So while we already started designing in 2D digitally, now we had the opportunity to also depict this in 3 dimensions, which was absolutely amazing technological revolution. But still, I mean, even with that, uh, the issues that the industry was facing, they didn't improve. I mean, the production was still slow, maybe a little bit quicker than the traditional drafting, however, still slow, still reliant on paper-based exchanges. So even if you were designing a model or doing a project digitally, you had to share it by printing it and actually physically handing it to the next person that is going to continue the project. So the challenges remained. And then what happened? We started working with parametric modeling. We started introducing algorithms in the design process. So the first signs of automation started to being appeared. And this actually took flesh and bones by seeing the first projects being implemented out of parametric design. And then we had the born in the beginning of the 2000s, actually. I was very lucky, actually, that I managed to meet some of the people that actually participated in the teams, in the software development teams that actually created the first BIM softwares that ever existed in the beginning of the 2000s. And that was the biggest revolution in AC industry until now. So for those of you, actually here we can do a mini break, like in the chat, if you want to participate, you can let us know how much are you aware of BIM? Are you working with BIM? Also, if you can write, if you want to write, you can write your discipline. What's your basic discipline? Are you an architect? Are you an engineer? It will help me to understand how deep I have to go explaining BIM later on. So I would really appreciate a small comment in the chat if you can. So what was BIM? BIM was basically the combination of the geometric information along with the rest of the data that was needed in the project. So it's pretty simple. Huh? It's not so simple in practice, however, as we will see later on, as it includes a lot of parameters, a lot of information, and all of this has to be combined inside the same model, inside the same digital model. So that was all about information modeling, information management and modeling, and how it was developed until today. And we reach about BIM to talk about BIM. So BIM is nothing more than a term, okay? But what BIM is actually referring to is what we explained before, the way that we manage information about projects. So in searching online, you can find a lot of terminologies about what BIM is. I personally like this one, actually, an integrated digital process, providing coordinated, reliable, and shareable data throughout all project phases, from design through construction and into operations. So while traditionally, let's say the last 10, 15 years, BIM, the term BIM was actually ruling the industry, and BIM was standing for Building Information Modeling. Nowadays, these things are changing again. So from now on, you will not hear the term BIM very often. Due to some changes in, let's say, in the ISOs that actually define the use of BIM nowadays, from now on, we're going to be talking about information management and not about building information modeling or building information management. We'll be talking about just information management, but BIM could also stand for better information management because this is the essence of BIM. How good are you on managing information about the project that you're working in? Either it is graphical or in another form of data. So BIM is something that is being applied through the whole life cycle of a construction process. It's being applied in the pre-planning procedures, in the design phase, in the analysis, the documentation, the fabrication, the design, the actual construction with the 4D and the 5D dimensions, and also in the post-construction processes, in the operations, maintenance, and renovation, or demolition, of course. It would be very useful here to remind what BIM is not. So BIM is not a magical solution to all errors. It's not a 3D CAD model. It's not a computer software. It's not a process exclusively for designers. Everyone can actually, that are part of the AC industry, can work with BIM. And it's definitely not a replacement of the human thinking. So if someone is thinking like, oh, BIM, AI is going to replace the humans in the AC industry, engineers and architects would not be needed. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. This is 100% misinformation. The same thing that happened back in the days when was the transition from paper to CAD, as I explained before, the same thing is happening now in different terms. So there is a very big misconception in the industry of what BIM is. So that's why I included this to explain a little bit of what the basic misconceptions are. And yeah, the replacement of the human thinking and the computer software, I think they're the most the misconceptions that I encounter most often, I think. So BIM is all about data. It's about creating a single source of truth. And what it does basically is what we can see in the schematic is changing the way that we communicate and we collaborate. So while in the traditional hello, I'm back. I think you can hear me and continue seeing my screen.
You're back
Yeah,
now.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you. So as I was saying, the traditional approach, this is the collaboration, communication relationship between the different professionals with the traditional approach. And here we can see that with the BIM approach, everyone can actually collaborate and work way more simpler than before, way more efficiently. We can all collaborate at the same time in the project. And what this means, less pain in all senses, less time, less problems in the communication. We have more people coming in, perfect. And so life is actually becoming way more simpler, way more efficient with the use of BIM. And of course, BIM is something that is creating new roles in the industry. So it's not nowadays with BIM, it's not only about being an architect or being a civil engineer or a mechanical engineer or a project manager, actually. With the use of BIM, the roles are changing a little bit, and we can see it more here where we actually can see the different BIM roles that could exist inside a team and the different competencies that each of the roles would actually need to have so they can work efficiently. And so, but however, this kind of competencies and skills are the same skills that the engineers and architects have been developing until now, but with BIM methodology. So it's not about creating a new role from zero. It's about evolving what we are in something better by gaining new skills. And when we talk about BIM, we also have rules on how we work. So the BIM ISO 19650 is actually the specific regulation instruction context that actually defines the way that we manage the information through BIM methodology. I don't want to talk more about that, but one thing that I would really like to mention would be this. This is a very fine way to realize what BIM actually improved in the industry. The biggest thing is that BIM created one single source of truth. Here we can see like a customer, how explain the project that he needs to us, how the project leader understood it, how the analyst designed it, how the programmer wrote it, how the business consultant described it, how the project was documented, how the operations installed it, how the customer was built, how it was supported, and what the customer really needed in the end. So with BIM, actually, we can avoid this kind of problems because we can work with one single source of truth. We can exchange information. We can work with the same information. We can have security in our information. Sorry. So it's actually improving a lot of the problems that existed in the industry before. Another problem that BIM actually improved is the problem of interoperability. When we refer to interoperability, we refer to the ability of working with different software in the same project. So in the past, there was a big problem if someone was working with AutoCAD and then was delivering the project to someone else, a structural engineer or mechanical engineer that was actually working with another CAD software. I think, Peter, you have a lot of experience from that back in the days with the different software and the problems of interoperability. I'm pretty sure that you have some very interesting stories to share about that. And yeah, The BIM process actually improved a lot of the problems that we were facing traditionally with the traditional methods, mostly about time consumption and cost reduction. We reduced the danger of human error, and the whole methodology became less problematic with better outcomes. Now, we could talk hours about the advantages of BIM, since BIM it's something that is being applied, as we said, it's being applied through the whole life cycle of a construction project. But the most basic, I think, would be these two little boxes I have down here. And this is very important because the potential savings of using BIM could be determined around from 17 to 20% reduction in the cost, in the total cost of our cost when we implement or execute a project. And the cost of actually using BIM climbs just to 1.5% of the total cost that we have. So what this means, that the cost of adopting these new tools, these new methodologies, these new skills, so we can work more efficiently, cannot be compared with the potential savings that it can bring to us later on when we master it, of course. Now we can talk way more in details about the benefits in each of the phases of a construction project. We can talk about the benefits in the design phase. I don't know if we have enough time, Peter. I think I'm supposed to finish this in 10 minutes, but
Don't
we
worry,
can have
just keep going.
we don't have.
Don't worry.
Okay.
You keep going.
So in the design phase, now with BIM, we can actually work having being able to begin with an end in mind, while before we were actually working without knowing how many errors, how many problems we're gonna actually encounter. We didn't have a single source of truth. Each engineer had their own files, and then we had somehow to combine all the different layers to a single project or in a single model. It reduced the risks on site, and design changes are reduced actually, or are being done, I would say, way more easier and with less cost and time. So when the client is actually asking a design and we're working with BIM, a design change, sorry, and we're working with BIM, nowadays it's way easier to actually execute it. What were the benefits in the construction site? In the construction phase, instant access to drawings and information. Now you can see an engineer doing the inspection while the construction is on execution, bringing out his tablet, being able to go back the designs, see the digital model, turn it around, see all the different views, be able to determine any classes, any problems, in real time. So real-time feedback has actually reduced a lot of the challenges we're facing on the field. And that improved a lot the consistency and the accuracy in our work. Now, operational phase. This is where we are today, actually. I can tell you, since this is my job actually, like observing the industry and following the industry in every step, that nowadays we're in exactly this point of applying BIM in the operational phase. So now with BIM in the operational phase of the project, we have visualization of our systems. The time and effort is being reduced significantly for finding related documents that we might need, for the maintenance, for the renovation, and the technology with digital twins and metaverse can actually give us now real data that we need about our projects. So we can, whatever project we do nowadays, we can actually follow it up during its whole life cycle until its demolition. Now, BIM has not been the only revolution happening in the last decade, let's say. In the last years, between 24, 26, we have seen way more trends appearing in the industry. We have seen parametric design, we have seen sustainability coming out, the concept of smart cities, we have seen VR technologies being applied for visualizations. We have seen lean construction methodologies being applied in practice with the new technological tools that we can use in project management level. We have seen robotics actually constructing on real time through the BIM model that we have previously designed. And I think the most basic, the main one that actually makes the most noise nowadays in the industry is about AI. So what's the status about AI adoption nowadays in AC? AI adoption, the thing that everyone like talks every day, apply AI now. AI has been let's say for the last 1.5 year, 2 years as a trend in AEC. And of course, it has created multiple sub-trends, I would say, in the industry, like with robotics, with VIR, since AI is connected with and integrated with any other kind of technology. Huh? But the important things, what is expected with the adoption of AI? A grow annual rate of 17% in the market construction. 40% of the businesses consider the adoption of AI to be very important for their operations, while 39% feel the same about machine learning. So we see the creation of new needs in the industry. This is important, and this is something, well, you cannot read it. Maybe you cannot read it because it's in Spanish, but it's something that I have heard from a lot of our students that we actually trained with AI, that the things that previously needed approximately 160 hours in total in order to execute, now it takes, with AI, it takes just seconds or minutes, let's say. Not be exaggerating, let's say in seconds, but let's say minutes, because everything we do with AI, it's always to be checked in the end, of course. So what we're expecting in the near future, 2030, 12.1 billion. That's going to be the market gap in comparison with 2023, which was like $1.8 billion. And that is creating a very big need for training in the industry. Here I have some of the most frequent questions that I receive. How AI influencing design and project efficiency in construction? Of course, generative design, optimizing material use, way easier, automatically improving sustainability. How AI transforming construction operations, automating tasks, optimizing project planning, improving safety. What are the factors are driving the growth of AI in the construction market? Technological advancements, labor shortages, sustainability demands, and stricter safety regulations. So safety, sustainability, and efficiency are the main effects of AI in the industry already. Here I have some more data. I think more people are coming in. I'm just going to add them. Have some more data about this digital transformation that is currently being in effect in our industry. Like when I say DX, I mean basically digital transformation for you to be able to understand. So 60% of construction companies worldwide are only starting their digital transformation now. You cannot imagine how many companies around the globe I have talked with, and they're still using these traditional methods that I explained before. The 60% of them, they just starting right now this journey. And this journey has different stages. It's not a simple process. It includes a lot of stages, training, specialized training on their work, then applying whatever they learn, repeat what they have applied, being able to manage the new skills and the new methodology that you have acquired, and then optimize it in real projects as you go on. So YDX is a priority for construction companies worldwide. 72% of the companies said that this is a key priority to drive much needed changes to their processes in the business models and their ecosystems. Another interesting statistic is like 58 of the companies is in stage 1 and 2. So we can see that almost more than half of the industry has only just started being transformed. So, when I'm talking with other professionals that are working in digital transformation, maybe in other industries as well, not only in AC, that's always what they tell me. Like, AC professionals are the only ones in comparison with other industries that haven't yet been fully transformed with the latest technologies that exist in the market. Another interesting statistic here, 63% of the employees believe that providing effective reskilling and upskilling increases talent availability, while 19% of them will remove degree driving requirements, focusing hiring on the candidate's skills. What are the skills? Whatever, all these things that we have talked before: BIM, AI, IoT, drones, predictive data analytics, all the latest technological developments. So, what about Africa? Let's come to your region to see what's going on. ZIGURAT has been in a very important collaboration with the BIM Africa organization. I suppose that some of you are aware of it. It's a non-profit organization based in South Africa. I think they're based, or in Kenya. I'm not sure about that. And they're doing surveys, they're giving data about the evolution of the AC industry in each of the different African countries. I've not included a lot of information, just some basic, like here, for example, BIM adoption survey. We can see that almost 50% of the BIM adoption is happening in your region, in the West Africa. Some other statistics. What is your opinion on the impact of the following factors on BIM adoption? As you can see, the dark blue here is like the answers which are under the strongly agree, let's say, tag. So what are the owners, the companies in Africa think about BIM adoption? What is the impact of the following factors on BIM adoption? Lack of training, lack of low awareness of governmental regulations and instructions. This is what the people mostly agree with. Government support for BIM is lacking. Almost all agree on that. Lack of in-house expertise. Initial setup cost. Well, I personally don't agree with that because, as I showed you before, and what the studies say, the actual cost of adopting all these skills is not comparable to the savings that you're going to have for the projects that you're going to implement. But as you can see, one of the things that they agree most is actually the lack of training that exists in the industry. And what is also important is that the fear of loss of jobs and organizational structural change, very few people believe in this. Something else, what changes does BIM adoption bring to projects in your opinion? Most of the people believe that adopting BIM requires changes in our workflow, brings cost efficiencies, of course, increases profitability, make it easy for us to work internationally, increases our competitiveness in the market. With BIM enables us to work in new sectors. It actually increases coordination of construction documents, increases the speed of delivery in the design phase, brings time efficiencies in the construction phase, and so on. So, along with CDSS, ZIGURAT is actually focusing on providing training solutions for all of this, and we have been collaborating with CDSS so we can provide this to professionals like you in Nigeria. So I will just mention you the basic portfolio of our training solutions here. So on BIM management, we have 2 training programs on the level of masters, which are for 1 year. They are also accredited by the University of Barcelona. And the difference between them is that the first one, it's a little bit more generic and it's focusing on building projects, while the second one is focusing actually on infrastructure projects. But both of them could offer you an holistic approach on how we can apply BIM practically inside a construction project through all the different phases. So whoever participates in these programs can actually understand BIM on it's entirely on how it's being applied on every kind of stage on the construction life cycle. Then for MEP engineering specifically, we have a new program which is going to run for the first time this year, and it's focusing on HVAC systems with energy efficiency. Very popular. We actually focus both on design and analysis of HVAC systems, specifically for MEP engineers, combining this with BIM methodology, how we apply all this with BIM, and we teach also how you can work with energy efficiency, energy certificates, LEED, BREEAM, Passive House that exist in the industry. Then we have some short postgraduate courses. These are short specialization courses focusing on specific specializations like the parametric design, sustainability, or lean construction management. We have a very new program on AI for architecture and construction. This actually could teach you how you can apply AI on your workflows, how you can create automations, how you can build your own plugins for Revit, for example, for those that know already how to work with BIM. And it's actually one of the most competitive programs and best-selling that we have nowadays. And then we have another one which is focusing on smart city. This is a little bit more urbanistic, let's say, focusing on the project management perspective of a smart city concept, both on the strategic level as well as in the individual smart city application management. And then we have our own MBA, Master of Business Administration in Digital Transformation with AI. This is a little bit more generic. It's not only focusing on AEC. And for the companies that are watching us, we also offer corporate services. This is actually my role in ZIGURAT. We have the infrastructure and the resources to actually help you discover, define any kind of skill gap, training deficiency, and develop for you a related training solution using the lean learning methodology. And we have accomplished a lot till now. I mean, we're globally partner of Jacobs International, training partner of Jacobs, WSP. We just signed up also with Hilti International. These are very, very big companies. Why with ZIGURAT? Here I have another video. It's not very long, just 1 minute.
Transform tomorrow today at ZIGURAT means studying at a pioneer institute that fosters innovation, courage, and commitment. Becoming a renowned expert that embraces a global and intercultural digital workforce. Joining a global community made up of more than 20,000 people from 120 different countries.
Transform tomorrow today at ZIGURAT means accompanying you in your learning journey from the very beginning, understanding your professional goals, and counseling you to find the right program to fulfill your dreams.
Transform tomorrow today at ZIGURAT means helping you find a good balance between work, study, and personal life, assisting you daily by offering experiential learning supported by high-quality training materials from industry experts.
Studying at your own pace from interactive online classes, discussion forums, and collaborative assessments. Learning from trained lecturers and talented peers. Starting with software level-up training and digital student onboarding. Applying sustainable problem-solving approaches to global challenges using disruptive technologies. acquiring new hard and soft skills to create a robust portfolio, getting industry-leading certifications,
broadening your knowledge even after you graduate, accessing our exclusive job portal, enriching your experience at online and in-person events worldwide, expanding your professional network, promoting your projects.
Start your future now. Transform tomorrow today with ZIGURAT.
So, why ZIGURAT? As the video said, basically it's our methodology, the way that we actually provide the training service, since we have created our own pedagogical model. So, and this pedagogical model could be described here. I mean, we use real projects, so the students are working with real data, they have time flexibility, they have exposure to international faculty board and global networking. So these are the things that could actually really help every professional to advance faster and more stable in their career. We offer, of course, here in the corporate department for businesses, we cover the whole ecosystem. So we could collaborate, offering training, offering talent services, offering promotion as well. Our network is quite extended. It's global. We have our alumni is actually numbered more than 20 professionals. Actually, I would say that's even the number is even bigger right now, and in more than 120 countries around the globe. These are some of the companies our alumni work. I'm pretty sure you will recognize a lot of them. And here we can actually see the locations of where our alumni are coming and the ZIGURAT local hubs. This is actually an old map. I'm pretty sure that is actually way more crowded, these dots, nowadays. And now I would like to invite some of our alumni that are connected. I would like to start with Ayodele, so they can give us a little bit of info about their experience with us. Ayodele, are you with us?
Good afternoon,
Good
Dimitrios.
afternoon.
How are you?
How are you? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
We're
alright.
very well.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Thank you, Ayodele. So, Ayodele, if you don't mind, would you be able to like just present, say a little bit about yourself and how was your experience during your journey with us?
All right. My name is Ayodele. I'm a structural engineer. Been practicing for over 10 years now, professionally in Nigeria. On my experience, I mean, let me start with what actually took me to consider ZIGURAT, which is one of the things Dimitrios has mentioned in his presentation. When I wanted to, I realized that there's a bit of, which is still the same issue that we have based on the survey that BIM Africa conducted. There's a bit of knowledge gap, in Nigeria, in Africa, as to what BIM actually is. And that's actually one of the things that prompted me to reach out to ZIGURAT. And believe me, my expectation was not, I wasn't disappointed. The curriculum, the faculty now, they are made up of professionals as much as the academics. So it's a complete package, which gives a balance to my experience. When they are talking about BIM, they actually have experimented, they practice it. And when they were telling us about it, it's from a position of knowledge, not theory. So, which is, a very important thing for knowledge. You must be able to, and considering that in Nigeria there is no background to this kind of knowledge, so it was important for me to ensure that where I'm getting the knowledge from, they have a solid practical experience, which ZIGURAT faculty was able to, made available to me. And like Dimitrios said, even though it's an online based, of course, he didn't mention that even though it's online, there's a student week where you get to go to Barcelona and then mingle with
Exactly,
with your
you're
colleagues.
right.
Well, I
You're right
didn't
about
get to do that anyway. But my my group then, my team member, that were able to, was able to tell me their experience, and I saw pictures and videos and even the sessions that was had. Now, going back to what I was talking about, so I mean, my experience actually broadened like I was saying, there were experienced people, technical professionals that were delivering the lecture, and also my teammates are not, though they are also professionals. In my team, in my FMT, that's my final master thesis team, we were 5, and we are all, I think I'm a structural engineer, Simon is structural engineer, we have Sean, who is an architect who is in New Zealand. I'm in Nigeria. I have Oshadi in Saudi Arabia. We have Jessica in Canada. So we are all scattered across the world, different time zones. And the platform that was provided by ZIGURAT was even allow us to be able to collaborate efficiently. It was a fantastic experience, and I mean, it's worth it.
Thank you, Ayodele. Thank you very much. So it
Yeah.
actually helped you to progress your career later on and face the challenges that these technological advances created in our industry?
Yeah, when I was in ZIGURAT, when I attended ZIGURAT, I was unemployed. I was doing unemployed work, but as it stands now, I'm running my own business. I'm running my own company, and ZIGURAT is what provided that encouragement, that courage, and the platform to do so. Like I was saying earlier, it's not just about the knowledge; it's also about the people. I still collaborate with my teammates. I mean, I still discuss with them and get knowledge from them, which is helping me every day. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I would like to invite also a second alumni that I have invited to share his experience with us. Olumvia, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, Ayodele.
How are you, Beniki?
Olumvia, welcome. Thank you very much for connecting. Would you like also to share your story with us? Like, how was your journey when you participated in the training programs and so on? Would you like to talk to us about your experience? And of course, is a short presentation of who you are, what you do currently, professional speaking.
Well, I'm a registered engineer in Nigeria. Uh, Basically, I do structural engineering and some bits of construction. And I think I fell in love with BIM. It was then when I started hearing about it, and I wanted somewhere where I could learn about it. And ZIGURAT came online, and I decided to apply. I had that in 2024 to 2025, and it was an experience that blew me away totally. Just like Ayodele said, where I had classmates from across the world. I had from Ghana, I had from Norway, I had from Saudi Arabia, I had from England, I had from Germany. And so it was a faceted class, and it was quite revealing, learning how to use about 8 softwares to develop a road. I had a background in structural engineering, so I wanted to move into infrastructure. So I did BIM management in civil engineering and GIS, so that I could do a bit of infrastructure too. And I had to learn the rudiments of that. We had to take up the design of a road in England. Yes, it was practically a road that was to be built, and that was what we did. It wasn't an hypothetical road. It was a real live road. Unfortunately for us, one of our guys the guy who lived in England went to see that road. So it actually helped us in our design. And very fantastic lecturers, all professionals, and they gave us the best. And my team really benefited. My team was the best team. FMT 04 was the best team in the project management. We got a certificate.
So you got an award.
Yeah, we got an award for being the best team, and we had the best student from our team too.
Very well.
For that year, and this has helped me also in my career. like I said before, I was just based on structures, but now I could also do roads. I can combine all these softwares together, put them in the Catenda hub, retrieve all these documents so that nothing is missing, and real-time changes can be done immediately. So ZIGURAT is surely somewhere to be. The student week and getting a double degree from Barcelona is also something very interesting.
I see. Thank you very much. I don't want to miss more time. I want to get to the Q&A part, which I think it's the most interesting. So you can all participate in the discussion. Thank you very much, Olomuvia.
Thank you very much.
I hope you can stay with us for the discussion part, but it's understandable if you need to move on, of course, if you have other meetings. However, thank you very much for participating. Now, I have a gift for you all. I mean, thank you very much for staying with us through this lengthy presentation. I will coordinate with Mr. Peter and CDSS team, so you can all receive a short free training on it's actually an introduction on Dalux. I don't know how many of you know Dalux software. It's a collaboration platform that could be used during the construction phase, and at the same time you can also have a small of discount for the different courses that you would be interested. The team of CDSS will contact you and will be able to inform you about this and how you can actually collect it. You're going to receive an email. And of course, I would definitely encourage you, if you want to learn more about the evolution of our industry in the African continent, you should really search and download the BIM Africa report. I mean, in the end of 25, like in the last November, December, there was the 24 edition published. So they always publish one edition before. But now, this year, there will be the 25. So follow them. And they have a lot of interesting data, stories, projects that you can actually study regarding the use of the new technologies. So thank you very much for everyone. Peter, I don't know if you agree, but we can move on to any questions.
Yeah, just before.
Yes.
Thank you everybody who stayed with us through the whole thing, through this whole presentation. I hope you found it very interesting and rewarding. There was one other thing that maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll address it in the Q&A. You remember the team option that we discussed? If you remember, the team option for a team of 8 to 10 within an entity. Maybe we can address that in the Q&A as another option for on the courses with ZIGURAT.
Yes, of course. I mentioned it before. I mentioned it before during the presentation. Sorry if I was not very clear. Apologies for that.
No problem.
But
we can address it.
Yeah, of course. The one important thing is I presented the training solutions before of ZIGURAT, which is consisted of different masters and short courses. But I also said that we have in the corporate department where I'm working, we have the option of customized training. What means that? That means that we have the resources to provide customized training according to the company's requirements. A company that is still using the traditional methods can come to CDSS and ZIGURAT, and we can provide them with a concrete plan, a concrete digital transformation plan on how they can jump from traditional approach to the BIM approach and the adoption of AI, VR, advanced data analytics, and all these tools. I mean, it's a complex process. It's not easy. It's not done like we do a registration in a training program.
Absolutely. But what I will add to that, we have a template because we worked on this 2 years ago that will allow us to quite quickly put together a program for a team of a minimum of 6 to 8 persons within an entity so that we can take the whole team through 2 levels of a program, one for 7 weeks, and I think the advanced takes you 13 weeks, if I'm not wrong.
Everything can be
So that
adjusted.
template exists. So if you're in a company and you feel that this is something that that the company would better benefit from the team going through the process rather than the individual, which is the 1 year master's courses are for individuals, correct?
Correct.
That's for individuals. But this is
Correct.
this is an idea we had where a team within an entity, a company, 6 to 8 to 10 persons can go through a program together. So
Exactly.
there's a template for that. So it shouldn't be too difficult to adapt that to anybody, to anyone's needs. So with that, with no further ado, there was one
Sorry, Peter,
little,
just
yeah,
on
sure,
that,
go on.
or what you said about the customized training, just to
Yeah.
add some details on that, it can
Yeah.
be to the requirements of the company. What does
Yes,
that mean?
absolutely.
We don't take everything of what we do, we put an X and we say, no, stop, forget everything, and now you will do this. No, we adjust your processes to the use of these new digital tools. Okay, so we don't talk about
Nothing
erasing
in
everything
stone.
and starting from scratch.
No,
Okay.
no. We take what you have and then we integrate it
Exactly.
with what we're going to offer you.
Exactly.
All right.
So,
Any questions?
any questions? Feel free, enable your microphones. We can have a live discussion.
Yeah.
We can, if anyone wants to talk, now that would be the time.
Now is the time.
Now is the time. Exactly. I was very curious, Peter, until someone actually jumps in. I was very curious if you could offer us like a short comment from your experience, because I think that you have lived all this transformation in the AEC industry. So when I was talking before, I don't know if you heard me, I said that you might have very interesting stories, but
Actually, like I said, when I started when I became a consulting engineer, because I'm a civil structural engineer, when I started
yes.
as a consulting engineer, there was no Windows operating system. There was only DOS 3.3. There was no graphics interface, and there was no mouse. Okay, when I started, that was 1983, 84. There was none of that. Now, there was also no fax machine. The only way you could get messages across the world was telex.
Wow.
There was no fax machines when I started.
Yes.
There's some more other interesting anecdotes that I could share with the audience, and I think they will find them hysterical. A return ticket from Lagos to the US economy was 400 naira. I don't think any of them will believe that. Yeah, that you see, they're all laughing. It was 400 naira. That same ticket now, Demetrios, is over 1 million naira.
What? Oh my God.
That same ticket
it's enormous.
is over 1 million naira. Yeah.
Wow.
400 naira.
Wow.
A Volkswagen Beetle.
Wow. Okay.
Was 4,000 naira.
Yeah.
Okay, they're gonna laugh again. Okay. And and the naira was 1-to-1 with the dollar.
Wow.
In fact, in the 70s, 1 naira was worth almost $3. A dollar now is almost 1,400 naira. All of this has happened in my lifetime.
No, I mean,
we have had to navigate through
everything.
all of this. So
exactly.
there's these guys, they won't believe it. This and a liter of petrol was 70 kobo. A liter of petrol today is 1,300 naira.
Wow. Which you actually produce in the country. Yeah?
Which we produce, which comes out of the ground. Yes. Which we produce. So there's a lot that in our lifetime that we have survived. I mean, There were no cell phones. No cell phones. We didn't have cell phones when we were growing up. No Xboxes, no PlayStations. Yeah. No,
But
I don't even think there were laptops then. No, there were. I don't think there were laptops then. It was just desktops that you had. So it's been interesting living my life, going through my life and going through all these transitions. But this one of BIM, I think, is one of the most significant, and I say this because it's really it's a radical change in thinking. I think really, and I would say part of the problem of the adoption in Africa has been the narrative that has been associated with BIM by
what
some of
about
the
specifically Nigeria? If we have
yeah
to talk about Nigeria,
sure.
what do you expect from the challenges? I mean, what's the adoption, the current adoption or awareness
That's what I was trying to get to.
status? Yeah.
Was the narrative for most of the last 10 years. What BIM suddenly surfaced. When did Revit come out? Revit came out when?
I mean,
When did Revit
2002, 2004 was like the first
Right.
versions.
When it first came out. And then BIM followed that. The narrative was, if you have Revit, you have BIM. That was the narrative that was spread across the African continent. And I think that statement is one of the reasons why adoption has been so slow on the
Yes,
continent, is overcoming that hurdle. Honestly,
I understand.
and unfortunately, Autodesk are guilty of this. They advertisement, if you have Revit, you have BIM. We will forever were telling people this is not true. The truth is BIM is processes and procedures. It's not software. So
And
that's been part of the problem. So overcoming that narrative is one of the issues. The second issue is that there is a time factor in making the transition. And in a lot of cases, you find that companies may not be ready to give that time because their focus is on working the way they've worked. What is it they say? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But this is not a question of fixing something that's broke. This is a question of making what you do, enabling you to do it better. And it's long term. And then there's the other thing that people possibly don't understand. It's not actually a change because you can integrate the way you work into BIM. Because if a consulting firm has been in business for 10, 15 years, they've got their standards within the firm or what they use on their project. All of that can be integrated, but it's the process with which that data is used and how it is created and saved that makes the difference. So it's really an issue of understanding. I think
exactly.
that is one of the biggest hurdles in Africa. It's not actually so much that I don't even think it's so much a cost issue, except that okay, on the software side, it can be a bit the cost can be a bit heavy, but there's no choice. You have to go this way. There's actually no choice. You have to either make that move towards BIM on some level,
And
or you're going to
businesses
find yourself left behind. I
have to actually,
don't think there's a choice anymore.
the businesses have to bear with this cost.
Yeah.
The because I truly believe, and I not only believe, the statistics and the surveys are actually say that the benefits that you can receive by investing in this is way more than the cost itself.
It
Of,
is. It is.
I
I'll give
mean,
you an example. I
yeah.
give you an example of something that's already happened in this ilk.
Mhm.
SAP. SAP had similar problems with companies trying to adopt SAP. But the interesting thing with SAP is that implementing SAP is quite costly and it doesn't actually save you money, but it enables you to do what you do better. And
Absolutely.
over time, you make the saving. So adoption of SAP has also been a problem. But companies, large companies particularly, have had no choice. They have to do it. So I think the building industry particularly, they're at a crossroads. Do you want to move ahead or do you want to be left behind?
Exactly.
And even in Nigeria, we are going to get to a point where you will not be able to win projects if you're not BIM enabled.
And
eventually it will happen. It will happen.
What will happen if they actually don't get BIM enabled is that someone will steal their clients. Someone will steal their work.
Yeah, they will lose.
That's
yeah,
what happen.
absolutely.
So
absolutely. And also not being BIM enabled bars you from being able to work internationally. I mean, because projects, large projects are not based in one country anymore. Consultants are all over the place. If you're not BIM enabled, you cannot be part of that team. So it will limit your scope of where you can work. So yeah, and it's building industry now. Eventually, it's going to be civil projects won't be far behind. Water projects won't be far behind. So it's all moving forward. So it's something that everyone has to. You have to take this idea on board and implement it in some way.
Exactly. I'm really encouraging you, everyone, to have these discussions with Mr. Peter and his team. CDSS is actually one of the very, very few companies in all African continent, I would say, that are so ahead following the developments in the industry, not only with the software, but also with awareness of where this actually is going. Really, what you need to do is encourage the discussion, encourage the awareness, and encourage your companies to discuss with people like Mr. Fisher how they can do things better. Because why? Because you can save time and you can save costs. So
any questions? We're back to the questions. We haven't heard any questions.
Yeah, we haven't heard. People are a little bit shy today.
Yes. Who is that?
I'm Mohammed.
We can't hear you properly. Please.
Muhammad, your signal is.
It's not strong. Okay, yeah. Mohammed, go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, sir. The kind of program that those who really want to add need to look into, because I'm in Nigeria and I live in Nigeria, so I know exactly what this program is all about. I study.
Muhammad, sorry for interrupting you. Unfortunately, there is a lot of breaking. We cannot hear you properly.
We can't hear you
I would really appreciate if you could send your question by email to Mr. Peter and me. We can definitely help you later on, or we can have a call after the event and discuss it. So sorry for interrupting you, but it's not possible to hear you.
Thank you.
Demetrius, put your email address in the chat.
I have it here. I will put it also in the chat, of course. But people, feel free. Ask us anything you want.
Any question. Somebody's asked the question, the full meaning of AEC, architecture, engineering, and construction. Oh, Taiwo already asked that. Okay. Please be in no doubt. 5 years from now, if you are not BIM enabled, you will not be doing very well. You will not be doing very well. If you're not, if your company is not BIM enabled, you will not be doing very well, even in Nigeria. I mean, all the projects, I believe the projects on Eco Atlantic are all being driven by BIM. This is, I'm sure you've heard of this, Demetrios.
Yeah.
It's this new it's our palms. Dubai has the palms, we have Eco Atlantic. And if you see the proposed developments that are on there. I know for a fact that one of the contractors, that's one of the major ones on there. They have been looking at BIM for the past few years. I don't know how far they've gone in implementation, but they know that that's the way they have to go. There's really no choice. There's really no choice. Get on the ladder. Once you get on the ladder, you will rise up the ladder, but get on the ladder. You need to start. You need to get started. Any other questions?
Well, if there are no questions now, you have our data, you have our addresses. We'll be more than happy to discuss all this in private with you. We have one question from Mr. Mboso.
Okay. Mr. Engineer Akwan.
Hello, good afternoon, sirs.
How are you?
I'm doing very well, sir. Please confirm that
We can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's very insightful. I'm a structural engineer. And, I also do some structural jobs. I'm actually working with firm here in Lagos. So I appreciate the fact that you took time to point to the aspect of this channel, streamline everything about BIM to maybe the use of Revit. You know, it's actually more of a process, because in the last few years that I've worked, was posing serious challenge where the client actually requested specifically that he needed us to use approach in executing was an civil infrastructural project. We have to deal with a lot of pipes, mechanical elements, also structural elements, putting them together to define the whole piping system. In such a situation, we have to deal with a lot of issues and all sort of things. So I truly appreciate that you're taking time to bring this down. My only concern here that maybe as a firm, how can we benefit from you people? Maybe in terms of we're already doing this, but we just want that enhancement, to consolidate on what we know. All movement.
Actually, Demetrios, Engineer Akwan works for one of the oldest engineering consulting firms in Nigeria.
Oh.
Arab, Arab. Of
Yes.
Arab. Well, this is the Nigerian arm, and they are one of the leading. They are one of the oldest and leading consulting firms. So, and I believe their managing director is on the call as well. So, who I've known for many years. So, I would like to think that Engineer Akwan is leading us, is leading Arab in our direction. I thank Engineer Adebayo for joining the call. He's actually the current president of the Institute of Structural Engineers as well. So, and you're welcome on the chat. Before I forget, this is being recorded, so the link to the recording will be available to everybody that is registered. And please, please, please feel free to contact myself or Demetrios or I would like Mr. Ayorinde, are you there?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm here, sir.
I would like you to at least say something on this and how you feel about what we've done today, and also your interest specifically when it comes to collaboration. I would like to, so at least let everybody know that you're there. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Taiwo Ayorinde. I'm a civil engineer. I'm also a construction tech advocate, BIM Construction Tech. I'm the technical resource manager at CDSS, and I've been Okay. So to just put I think Engineer Fisher and Demetrius have spoken a lot about everything. So I think what's left for us now is to, taking intentional steps. I don't think going to the next level in the area of BIM, I don't think it's impossible, to be candid. Some people claim, some in the industry claim until their mandates, like the UK mandate, UK BIM mandates, where you are enforced to actually implement BIM. That's when we begin to see changes in Nigeria. But I don't really believe in that. Demetrius has stated one particular fact. He has mentioned it like twice or thrice today, and that's the ROI you get from implementing technologies like BIM and artificial intelligence, and most recently artificial intelligence. I mean, what you get out of investing in this technology is definitely more than what you'll ever get. You do better jobs, you're happy, your clients are happy, you get more jobs, and I think something too is that organizations, especially, I think they should move away from attempting large-scale transformation, because when you mention BIM to some people just believe you want to get everything in a day or in a week. You know,
Oh.
you go all in, and in the process of attempting large-scale transformation, you get overwhelmed. I mean, you're handling projects and trying to implement BIM. At some point, you just abandon it. So a better way to look at it is a single well-executed pilot project. As Engineer Fisher said, I think the concept of BIM came in wrongly into Nigeria.
Very
And I
wrong.
like the way Demetrius started the presentation. It's actually more of building information modeling than, building information management than building information modeling. The previous year, we used to have a series of webinar on Autodesk Docs for collaboration, and I'd often tell participants that if BIM were basically modeling, then a random person can use tools like Photoshop and say Corel Draw to make building models, fine ones. But working like that takes the whole essence of BIM. The whole essence of BIM is the information about the entire life cycle of the project, from the concept down to the handover to maintenance and to the end of the project you're working on. So then more so, I think professionals must look beyond the tools. Let's look at it beyond using Revit, using Bentley softwares, and more like focusing on problem solving and workflow integration. That's one
How
of the
you
reasons
do
why
what you do. Yeah.
partnership with ZIGURAT is so important to us, because ZIGURAT is an institute. They deal with workflows, things that work. They're not talking about software here, but the way you work. Then after evaluating the way you work, you can now start talking about software. Okay, this works better for my team. This works better than for my team. So in conclusion, from my end, I would say is not to master every emerging technology. AI is the wave of today. Everybody's wondering how AI is going to be used in but for us in construction, I think you're just jumping the gun, because there's no AI without data, and there's no data without BIM, and there's no BIM without you understanding what BIM is. So why didn't you just come down to understanding BIM, understanding information management, understanding collaboration? Then from there we can take it a step up, step by step, until we get to where everyone is satisfied with what we are doing. And that'll be all for my answer. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you,
Demetrius.
Engineer Adebayo, how are you, sir? I see your hand is up.
I'm very good. Thank you very much. Thanks for also calling me out. I should first apologize. I missed the earlier parts because this particular timing is not user friendly for those who are on the other side of the world. I'm in the US now, so my apologies, but I will.
Okay.
But I did get up early enough to catch this, and I will definitely view the recording. So thanks. A couple of quick things just to say well done. I've known Engineer Fisher for better part of 50 years plus, which is, some people will wonder how is that possible, but it is possible.
It is possible.
And I want to say also, from the latter part, during the profession, you've certainly been very consistent, and I would even say resilient, and just pushing through in a fairly difficult environment. I am not actually, I was many years ago, but I'm not the president of the Nigerian Institute of Structural Engineers, but I'm the president of the Association for Consulting Engineering in
Association,
Nigeria.
pardon
Yes.
my, at least I got the first part right.
You got it right. Yes, you did. And that actually is quite important to me. I'm glad to hear, particularly when the last speaker talking about collaboration. I think one or two things bother me a bit. Our AEC industry is still very much, I don't want to really refer to it as you know, they're still developing or
brick and mortar. It's
no,
still
so
brick and mortar.
It's brick and mortar, but I think it's not even the brick and mortar that's the worry. I think it is more just that we are still very small in so many ways. So we've been struggling to do things, both projects and I would say even anything that involves investment, because a one-man, two-man, three-man organization will always struggle, even when he's told that the tools are the right ones. He would still look at it overall and see it as a challenge. And so I think there are some things we will be getting back to you to say, let's see how we can sort of work within the constraints of our industry, particularly because another thing that worries me is all this discussion, and I'm sure those on the call will possibly generally be consultants. And I think we cannot but look beyond just consultants and design to the actual implementation on site, the construction, the contractors. And the contractors, they are even in another, they're in a world of their own at the moment. Yes. Very few and far between. And they're really not looking at the bigger picture. They are just managing to survive in their own way and make their profit. So I think it would be nice to look at how we make sure that the contractors, as it were, those building are not actually holding the whole thing down. We need to all advance together and make it worthwhile. So I'm sure we'll definitely collaborate. And I wish you well. I hope all those who are on the call are also going to sort of join in and really put our heads together to make sure that we get our construction industry to where it should be. Thank you very much indeed.
Engineer, thank you so much. That was just brilliant. Thank you so much. Okay, I think on that note we can call it. Thank you so much, engineer. That was very, very insightful. And actually you broached something that's maybe we glossed over it, but you're absolutely right. In the Nigerian market, the contractors are the big stumbling block when it comes to this.
It's not only in Nigeria, Peter.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. It's good to know. Okay. All right. Yes.
But since we got to this point, I would like to say that in the future, I really hope that I will be able to join you there as well in Nigeria, meet you in person, and of course we can discuss all these challenges in person with the companies and the professionals as well. In the near future.
But listen,
we should do something in Nigeria.
Yes, we should.
And meet actually the contractors on site and discuss with them.
Maybe what we can do is actually have a focus group for this presentation, but with the contractors.
Of course.
So that we can so that they can see this side of the fence. Because the only side that they seem to be bothered about is the architect that comes on site and the consultants, the service engineers that work with them. Those are who they concern themselves with. But we're good. Demetrius, I think we can call it a day.
Very well. Thank you all very much. Thank you all very much.
Thank you everyone for being with us today. The link to the video will be shared as soon as it is available. And please feel free to share that link within your teams in your various companies, so that, and also please view this not so much from an individual perspective, but for the team, because the team is what makes this work. BIM is not a it's not a one-man show. It's a team, it's a team concept.
Like basketball.
All right.
Like
and it doesn't
football.
matter if you've been in business 5 years or 40. You have your internal standards, you have your processes and procedures. It's just a question of integrating them and adapting them to this new way forward. That's it. Thank you very much, Demetrios. It's been great. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much for the invitation, and we'll talk soon.
We will talk soon. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Again,
Have a beautiful
pleasure
day.
being with us. Take care.